Hello everyone and welcome back to another Babbling Irons video with myself today. Aston Villa coming up away. Always a tough game going to Aston Villa, and yeah, they've been in incredible form, sitting fifth in the table, but our match preview will be dropping in the next couple of days, so make sure to look out for that and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a like on this video as well, as we are going to be doing a combined XI with Aston Villa and West Ham. Disclaimer, it's based on this season. There are some players that miss out that I would probably have in there if they were playing more, if they weren't injured, etc. So this is just based on this season's performances alone. And yeah, let's get into it. So starting off with the goalie, it's hard. It's a hard decision. Areola's been good for us. Martinez obviously been very good for both Aston Villa and Argentina in the World Cup last November. So it's kind of a toss-up. It's kind of personal preference, but I've gone for Areola just based off what I've seen so far this season. And yeah, he's just been fantastic for us. I know Martinez has been pretty good for Aston Villa, but just over the last few years of watching Martinez play, does have mistakes in him, does have moments where he should be saving things, but I know Aston Villa fans will probably argue the same with Areola, but based on this season, I would probably just edge it to Areola in goal. Now, moving on to the defense, there's a few difficult decisions to make here. I think the right back is an easy one for me. It's an easy choice. The centre back pairing, there's maybe 4 or 5 options you could have. You've got Zuma, you've got Agerd, you've got Konsa, you've got Diego Carlos, and you've got Pau Torres as the kind of main 5 to debate, really. And this one, I've gone and added in a West Ham player who has just been unbelievable for us, and in my opinion, is the best centre back in this list. And then the other centre back is a difficult choice, but I'm going to get onto that shortly. And left back, I don't think there's really an argument to be made for that based on this season. So let's take a look at the back 4 and how that shapes up. So starting with right back, I've gone with Matty Cash. Yeah, we just haven't had a good fullback in the right back position for a while now. Kufau's starting to get his form back a little bit in the last few games, which is great, but I'd still have Matty Cash in there above him. And yeah, last season we were playing kind of Kehrer in the right back role. Johnson's been frozen out, so yeah, Cash is a pretty solid pick in at right back. And then centre back options, like I said, they were difficult because for me, Zuma goes straight in. He's the best of the bunch. And then you've got, an argument for Agerd. You've got an argument for Pau Torres. You've got an argument for Konsa. You've got an argument for Diego Carlos. There's a lot of different players, but I'm just going to base it on this season. And this season, Pau Torres has been playing the most for Aston Villa. And he's been very well. He's been playing very well, sorry. He's been very consistent for them. He's obviously playing on a left centre-back role as well, which complements Zuma in this team. And yeah, that's the centre-back pairing I've gone with. And then Emerson left-back. He's been outstanding for us ever since the turn of last season, really, towards the back end of the year. And the Conference League final really was the big starting point for him. Started in the match, and then he's just transitioned into this year really well and has been performing excellently. So that's the back 4. Moving on into the midfield, again, pretty difficult between Alvarez and Kamara for the kind of holding midfield position. I've gone with a 4-3-3. So yeah, it was a difficult decision because they've both been very good. Alvarez has come in when, there was a lot of debate around Declan Rice, around, how we were going to replace him. Alvarez was one of the big names to come in at that defensive midfield position for us. And, he's been excellent for us. He has been the anchor that has been, really helping us play the way that David Moyes wants to play. And likewise with Kamara, with Aston Villa, he's had his injury problems. He's also, he came last season with a lot of hype, didn't perhaps live up to that. But this season he's been very good, along with Douglas Luiz, another option there, but I don't really see him as a 6 anymore. He kind of plays in a bit more of an advanced area. So it was between Alvarez and Kamara, but I went with Kamara. We're going to get onto the other 2 midfield options shortly, but I think Kamara just edges it, has a bit more about him on the ball, which I'm yet to see from Alvarez, although he's had some good moments. I'd like him to do a little bit more in terms of possession. And yeah, Kamara's just been very, very good and a very good 6. So that one's, again, a really difficult one, almost a 50-50 split again, but I'm just going to edge it to Kamara based on what I've seen so far this season. And then you've got the other 2 midfield positions. So I'm just going to show you on the screen now how the midfield looks, because there are a lot of different options for this position. I actually went with Paqueta and Ward-Prowse. Again, really, really tough. I'm basing it off this season. Normally, I probably wouldn't have Ward-Prowse in there. I would, have someone like Kudus in there, but he just hasn't played enough. And, I'm basing it off this season. Obviously, Paqueta goes straight into the team, the best midfielder on the team sheet. And then, yeah, Ward-Prowse comes in for me in that other eight position, just because of how good he's been for West Ham and the impact he's made. And, he's just been excellent. 7 assists, 2 goals, I think, in all competitions so far this season. There is an argument for bringing in someone like Jacob Ramsey to play in that number 8 position, even John McGinn as well, or Douglas Luiz. But if you're basing it off this season, James Ward-Prowse has been the best of those. Aston Villa fans will probably argue, McGinn's been amazing for us. He's transformed. He's become a new player for us again. I don't doubt that, but Ward-Prowse has just been better this season. He just has. You just need to look at the performances he's put in and the numbers he's putting in as well. So difficult decision once again, but yeah, that's how the midfield looks. And then you get onto the forward three. Again, very, very difficult to assess it. I would love to put Ramsey in this team. I think he's an outstanding player, but he just hasn't played enough so far this season. He had those injury problems. Obviously, scored in his last game. I think one of the last games against Everton when they absolutely thrashed them, and it's a lovely goal. But he just doesn't. He hasn't played enough this season, and he's not going to get in over the 3 names I mentioned. So it was difficult to kind of put this together, because I know someone like Diaby hasn't played out on the left much, and he's much better either centrally or on the right. And then you've got, do you play Antonio up front? Do you play Watkins? It's very, very difficult to call, but I've been unbiased. I've been, what I've actually seen from their performances so far this season and how they would perform as a whole in this team. So let's just take a look at the front three, because I've done it like this to complete the team. Bowen out on the right, he's been outstanding. And then, yeah, I kind of switched between Bowen and Diaby as to who is going to play on the left, but Bowen just can't do that really. And I feel like Diaby's more versatile and can play across the front three fairly easily. So I've put him out on the left. And yeah, I just don't think we've had any kind of left winger really. We've been playing Paqueta out on the left, so that kind of negates that argument. And yeah, Antonio Watkins, Ollie Watkins for me is the better striker, and scored more goals. And I feel like he was a David Moyes target not that long ago. He would have been the perfect signing for us. I feel the way he plays, the way he presses, the way he can actually hold up possession, the way he can run in behind. And he scores goals. He can be wasteful, but he does score goals. I mean, just look at the Everton game, how he scored those goals. And, he's very good at finishing in, difficult situations inside the box where you maybe don't expect a striker to get off a shot or be able to finish. And he just has that edge over Antonio. Antonio can do things Watkins can't, but overall, Watkins is the better player. What you'd want in a striker, you would pick Watkins to consistently perform throughout the season over what Antonio does for West Ham. So it's difficult, but that's my whole kind of combined XI. I'll put it on the screen once again for you guys to see before we end this video. But let me know what you guys think about this. It's not a bad team at all, is it? It's really not a bad team. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 West Ham players in there, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 West Ham players. Sorry, should I say, and 5 Aston Villa players. So pretty balanced. There's probably again a few names you could pick out and put in. Obviously, Areola and Martinez are the two big goalie options that you could literally toss a coin for. Really, I think they're pretty similar in terms of their ability. And then yeah, you've got just personal preference, how you'd like the midfield to look. I probably, on paper, I would have Kudus in above Ward-Prowse to play in that other kind of 8 role or slightly advanced 8 with Paqueta a bit deeper, but it's just not happened this season. We haven't seen enough of Kudus, and Ward-Prowse has been excellent, so he goes in. And then there's going to be Aston Villa fans will say, where's Douglas Luiz or where's McGinn? It really is just your preference, and it's my opinion. So there we go. And yeah, the front three I picked based on performances this season. I think Diaby's been excellent, as has Bowen, and Watkins has found his form as well. So not a bad combined 11. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about it. And again, yeah, leave your combined XIs in the comments as well. I'd love to see those. And yeah, I'm going to put this out on Twitter as well for people to see. So if you want to go follow us over on Twitter at Babbling Irons, please do that. Leave a like on this video as that massively helps, and subscribe to the channel so you will not miss out on the new content. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, we've got our Aston Villa preview dropping in the next couple of days, so make sure to keep an eye out for that. That's going to be all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, come on you irons.